Hey everybody, it's David with Cyber City Circuits. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble your Leaf add-on for your BSides Augusta 2021 badge. Uh, this is the front of it, and you'll see it's going to end up going over right there. And then on the back we have little symbols to show us how we're going to assemble it, and we'll go over that a little bit more in detail in a minute. Let's go over what parts we have. We should have a badge with a header. I already have the header soldered on mine, but the instructions for soldering this is going to be very similar to how you soldered this one on. 6 resistors, 6 LEDs. We're going to start by putting the resistors in. Now the schematic symbol for a resistor is a little zigzag line, and that's how it's going to be. So I'm going to take my resistor, I'm just going to bend the leads down like that, and I'm going to put them through the hole where the zigzag line is, just like that. I'm going to do all 6. So let me go ahead and put all 6 on there. How'd you enjoy the conference? Leave your comments down below. I'm just going to pull it through just like that. So there's 2 of them. Oops. No. There's a 3rd one. And you see when I do it, I'm bending my leads down. There's the 4th one. It's the 5th one. And then we have one more, which is right there. And I'm just going to take all my leads. I'm going to bend them over. That's going to help keep them in place. Just like that. And I'm going to take my soldering iron, and I'm going to solder them into place. So here. So when you solder, if you never soldered before, what you want to do is you want to apply heat evenly between the pad, which is the part that's on the board, the metal part on the board, and your pin, which is the part on the resistor. And then what you want to try to do is you want to try having the pad and the pin melt the solder instead of the iron itself melting the solder. You want the iron to indirectly melt it. You want to get the pad and the pin so hot that it melts it, because that's how you get a really good bond. You see, it's pretty easy, pretty quick. You just add the heat, add the solder, remove the heat. Just like that. I missed one. And then we're going to take our wire cutters. Now when you're clipping these, you don't want to clip them flush to the board. You never want to do that because you might end up scratching the board, and even worse, breaking the board. I missed one. That does happen. You want to be careful not to scratch the board. See? Just like that. Now let's add our LEDs, light emitting diodes. They're what we call a diode, and they have to go in one specific direction. They can't go in either direction. You have to put them in one specific way or else they won't work. And in this way, you see how there's a longer lead and a shorter lead? See that? Just the longer one right there. In this case, we're going to make the longer lead go through the circle hole and the shorter lead go through the square hole. And you see on the drawing, next to the circle hole, there's a longer line. just to show you that that's where the long lead goes. So we're going to put them all in there. Pay attention to the details when it comes to putting these in there. If you get them in backwards, you know, it's not the end of the world, but they're very, very hard to repair, especially for a beginner. Hard for me to repair. Put that in there. We're bending the leads as we go to hold them in place. So here we go. So just again, apply the heat, apply the solder. We want to be careful not to bridge these pins, meaning when you have solder going across both pins together and it creates an electrical short between them, you want to be careful not to do that. If you do that, it's okay. So to fix that, all you have to do is clean the tip of your soldering iron and then touch those pins. And then what's going to happen is your iron's going to pull up some of the flux. Let me see if I can bridge one real quick. There we go. So this one right here is bridged. See that? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my tip. I'm going to touch my tip on that. And it's going to grab the solder, pull it away. Just like that. There you go. Just did another one. Bridged it. So I'm going to clean my tip. Use a sponge or whatever to clean it. And then I'm just going to pull the solder away. And then it's fine. See that? Let's go ahead and clip these. Just like that. You can see some of them are longer than others. So we'll clip them a little bit shorter. Now we need to put our header on. Now all the other parts went onto the front. This part's going to go onto the back. Just like that. See? And what we're going to do is, because we want to make sure it's on straight, is we're going to do one pin, only one pin. And then we're going to look at it and see if it's crooked or not. And if it's crooked, we're going to heat up that pin and just kind of hold it into place. And it's fine now. So now, just go right down. And we can be a little haphazard when we do this. Just a little bit. I got way too much solder on there. Oops. So this is a good example to show you how to use wicking braid. So when you use wicking braid, you always want to start with fresh tips. I'm going to cut off this last bit that I used. put it down, and then just heat it up. And what it does is it pulls all the solder off and leaves you a nice clean solder job. How's that? So now when we insert it into our badge and we put it in our battery, it lights up. How cool is that? Great job. So, thanks for attending BSides Augusta 2021. Again, this is David with Cyber City Circuits, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.